Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bigger and Louder with Anthony and John. I'm John.
I'm Anthony.
And tonight we're going to get right into it. We want to put out a personal thank you to Podbean and the platform that we've chosen to host our podcast and help distribute this to you and to everybody. We, if you've been following, have had such immense technical difficulties along the way. We tried a couple different applications and hosting platforms. We went down a couple different avenues, but like the technical guidance, the social media, like clips and reels, have all been so helpful to us that we just wanted to thank you. And we are in this for the long haul. So shout out to Podbean and what they can do with all the media distribution, getting us across Spotify, Google, Apple, iTunes, and more. I really think that some of the other tools, as far as the live streaming, are really fucking awesome. So props to you guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, no, honestly, if you're new to the whole technology space or podcasting space like we are, I'm not going to lie. Like when we first got started with this, we were just like two chickens with their heads cut off. And after we were actually just doing our homework and research, literally, like once we got hooked up with Podbean, it made things so much simpler just in terms of uploading, downloading, streaming, editing, AI capabilities. But the biggest thing also is just the integrations to all social media and streaming platforms, right? I think that's the biggest thing for most people. They want to get their name and brand and just content out there as fast as possible. And usually, if you're doing it independently, you have to kind of create like independent accounts and kind of do everything like hand over hand, or rather, kind of do everything more manually. Podbean has actually made this more simplified where you literally plug it in and it just goes out there. Done. It's basically set it and forget it. And I honestly think that we should have done this 10 years ago sooner versus kind of doing it now, because me and John have been talking about doing a podcast at some point. And the biggest dilemma we were running into is, assigning responsibilities, right? Like you take Facebook, I take Instagram. Oh, I want to do TikTok. I want to do it literally made things so much simpler. So again, like, we're not getting paid to say Podbean, but we're going to say it. Podbean is definitely our preferred choice right now, just to make our lives so much easier, just to communicate with you lovely people out there.
And excuse me while I take a couple deep breaths, because yes, Anthony, I don't know if you saw the recent post. I went back to Joe's Pizza.
I did. Honestly, I don't know if I was excited for you or I felt sad for you. Isn't this like your fifth trip in like 2 days there, man?
But it's like at least my fifth trip in 2 months. But I'm like honestly starting to make it like a weekly thing. So that 2 months is just the span of 5 weeks, I think.
Yeah, I was the one who told you about Joe's Pizza, and you kind of like were, it was an afterthought, or you didn't really give it too much 2 cents. But now you just can't stop going, right? Like you've been going there more frequently, probably more than you ever had in your entire life being out in California.
I've eaten more pizza in the last month than I have in the last 15 years that I've been in California.
Yeah, I mean,
it's delicious.
Yes. No, I mean, look, and I've been to California a handful of times. I mean, listen, I don't find the food down there as tasty as other places I've been, but I mean, when you think about Joe's Pizza, but like what's the deal, right? Like you've been going there to the point where it might be considered like you're an addict and you've been hyping this place up. But like, what is the deal? Because California. I mean, when you think of like East Coast and West Coast, you think about like just food, where the water comes from. It's all relevant. But like, what's the deal? Like, why? What makes this spot more?
I'll give you the deal. You want the deal? I'll give you the deal.
I want the deal.
The thing that I love about Joe's Pizza that sets it apart from everybody else is that it like literally does recreate, and I don't know what the fuck they put in it, but that recreates the New York flavor, the New York feel, the crunch, the crust, everything. It is
heroin, cocaine.
Yeah. Yes. It is the perfect pizza to fold in half and eat it like you're on the East Coast. So I think that this is absolutely perfect. Pause.
Yeah, listen,
we're gonna edit this. Mark, hold on, Mark. What's up, buddy? I'm talking to Uncle Anthony. We're on the show. What's up? I love you, buddy. Oh, we're watching Fantastic Four. What happened to your face, man? All right. I'm talking to Uncle Anthony now, though, okay? So no talking in this room. You gotta watch in the other room for a little. Hey. Oh, we're not live, thank God. Okay. All right. Buddy, please, to the other room. All right, so I'm gonna lead it back in. And I'm going to say marker 7, whatever, right when I start talking. So I know when we'll cut it. And then I'm going to say, all right, you want the deal about Joe's Pizza. And then I'm going to start from back there again. Okay.
All right.
All right. Marker 732. All right. You want the deal? I'll give you the deal with Joe's Pizza.
Yeah. I want to know what the deal is.
Number one, and above all is the crust. It for some reason, I don't know what the fuck they put in it. It recreates that absolute crunch, the bite, the thinness, everything that you would get in a New York slice. The biggest test for me is when you hold up a piece of pizza, folks, it shouldn't flop over like this. There's no floppiness in a pizza. When you get a crispy crust, it should stand straight out like this so you can crack it in half and eat it.
Like so that's the difference between, for those out there, there's things such as zero dough and all-purpose dough, right? And that's actually what makes the dough either sit as thin as a piece of paper or it flops just like
doppio zero.
Yeah, or it could flop just like a senior citizen's penis. But I mean, it's a truth. That's a fact. But like
Anthony worked in OT, so he absolutely knows how floppy that could be.
All right. I mean, okay. Actually, no, he's not lying. That is true. So it's true. But something, I remember when I was in California a handful of times I came to see you. I remember like when I got a slice, I think I came out there, I had some time off and you had to work. So I just, putzed around, LA and, found some things to do. And I remember when I passed a place, I don't remember the name of it, but it was in LA. And I just remember going in and getting a slice. And I remember having to order shit off the slice. It was like they gave you everything. Like, okay, they gave you olives, onions, peppers. Yes. They gave you. I'm like, listen, like, do you know? It's just like the vernacular. It's just like, give me a slice. Just means nothing on it. And it seems like in California they got it backwards. Now, when you go to Joe's Pizza, do you have that same problem, or do you feel like no, they got it right?
No,
like they
no. That's okay. So I'm shocked, and we have not arranged this, folks. I am shocked right now at what Anthony said because that's exactly where I was going to go. No, that's exactly where I was going to go with this. This is like 2 shows back to back, dude, that we've been like taken back at like agreeing with each other. But my 15 years in LA had, you've got to eventually put like a flavor on a location's pizza, right? New York, we're known for the thin, crispy slice.
You can't say wheat anymore, man. You can't say wheat anymore.
You are known for that thin, crispy slice that I still find near and dear to my heart.
Adore and love.
Chicago.
No, you can't put Chicago in there. That's deep dish, man. That's just like a souffle.
No, this is
it's a fucking souffle.
For the sake and the respect of our Chicago,
No, cut it out. It's not pizza. It's literally just soup and fucking crust. Let's move on.
Well, I agree, but there's also that kind of a soup and crust type pizza, right? That's a category. Now, what is LA? If you're going to put your finger on it, to me, it's what you want it to be. What is your flavor? Do you want it to be a Mexican pizza? Which I have to say, it's not the worst pizza I've ever had, where they have some like seasoned, like for lack of a better, like Taco Bell flavored meat, or like Ortega, the packet that you would put on there, meat.
Instant packets on a pizza.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just seasoned in the meat and then they throw it on top. But then they put like lettuce, tomato, and like drizzle the sour cream and stuff on top. It's actually not the worst. They'll put, like you said, the everything pizza, where it's the olives, the peppers, the onions, the sausage, the bacon, the pepperoni, and it's like too much for me. And that's why the pizza just flops over. It collapses under its own weight. Okay, so I got a good one for you. So our good buddy, Robbie, he comes out to visit me about 6 months into me living in LA. Okay, so this is like 2008. So we head out on the town. We go, over the hill from the valley. We're heading out. To me, the only places I knew after only being here 6 months, which I thought everybody that should come, and you've been there too, should go to. Saddle Ranch. Okay, we go to Saddle Ranch right on the Sunset Strip. Mechanical Bull, baby. The Beast. I don't remember. Getting on there, baby. We go to Saddle Ranch. We go down to rest in peace Cabo Cantina over there. Hit up a bunch of different places, and eventually we end up late night at some tiny restaurant in, I want to say it was like Beverly Hills adjacent, and ended up with a Lobster fucking pizza. Anthony, a
Now, is
lobster
that
pizza at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Where
so? I
you
gotta ask.
lobster pizza.
So that's funny to me. So like lobster pizza in LA, I thought maybe you might get like a burrito pizza, maybe some shawarma pizza, maybe some Adderall pizza, but like lobster pizza. I mean, like you're not exactly in Maine or on the East Coast where like lobsters is this like it's just so it
You'd be
flows
surprised
like
though.
wine.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Like we do have like I would say like solid seafood out here, man. Like I mean, Long Beach and like San Pedro, even down like to me, and I think I might have even taken you there. And I know the Beast and a bunch of our buddies have been out here, who visit me. I've taken there down to Redondo Beach. So Redondo Beach, for anybody visiting the Los Angeles area, you
Yeah, give them the
go,
trajectories. Yeah.
yeah. So you're gonna go south. You're gonna go like to the south point of Redondo, and I'm gonna forget. There used to be like Hooters, but like there was a couple good restaurants nearby. But anyway, there's a pier. Like if you go under, there's a pier that you can walk down, and there's a seafood market. There's an arcade there. So that near the Redondo Pier Beach, whatever we want to call it, arcade, there's a seafood market. At that seafood market, you can get whatever you want fresh caught that day, or probably within like the last couple hours. Okay.
Do you see the guys
Yes,
actually jump into the ocean, harpooning the fish, and like, hey, what fish do you want? You want grouper? Do you want tuna? Oh, it's that.
The
I'll
seals
hop in and
would
go
do
get
it.
it for you. Seals over.
They have the seals. Like there's all a bunch of sea lions and seals. Like I don't know what they. I think the sea lions, but like they're right off the shore. But like this place, they'll grill it up however you want. I always go for like the tray of steamed clams, mussels. You can get like fried fish. They'll put like something in linguine. They'll put your clams or whatever you want in like spaghetti or linguine with white wine sauce. They'll do like fried food for you. They'll broil your fish. They'll do whatever you want, man. Like it's really worth the trip. The beaches down there are beautiful, and it's much quieter than like the Los Angeles area. So that
I mean, I mean, what the best beach I've ever been to? I mean, in my top 5, and I've traveled, I want to say like Hermosa Beach has got to be like, and I'm sure there's more on the coast, but like that beach was just absolutely breathtaking. Just the scenery, it was clean. I mean, it was really like I was actually taken back. I thought I was going to walk into like the slums, but no, it was exactly the quite opposite. I'm like,
no,
wow,
man, that area is, and like I'll be respectful. I'll say incredibly affluent. But yeah,
yes.
there's a bunch of rich motherfuckers down there, man.
So like,
Redondo, Manhattan Beach is beautiful. Manhattan Beach is a little bit more like industry. Like there's like fashion companies down there, tech companies in Manhattan Beach. I mean, they're all kind of scattered throughout there, but like that whole area is like really nice. It's
so like
we've been lucky enough to play kind of like soccer down there too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't surprise me like with like that type of real estate, it's going to attract a lot of like, as you pointed out, like specific businesses or just like specific clientele, if you will, or personnel or the audiences you're bringing in, the demographic, right? It's going to obviously match the two. But going back to Joe's Pizza, like, have you ever gotten their story as to like how did Joe's Pizza become this thing? Because as far as I'm concerned, yeah,
I have not.
Okay, so here's your homework. This is your homework. When you go back tomorrow, which I know you're going back tomorrow to get another slice, because just like I'm just gonna bet on it. When you go back tomorrow, you go to the front counter and ask the guy at the front counter, like, hey, like, what's the deal? Like, how did Joe's Pizza become, these several different locations you got here in the Valley and I don't know wherever the hell they got these other locations from, but also like ask them, like, are they actually? No, this is a serious question. Seriously, you ask them, are you importing some of your products from the East Coast or maybe overseas in Europe? That's a fair question because like
I'm sure they're gonna be like really nice about it, but I'm sure they're gonna be like, go fuck yourself. I'm not gonna tell you not. But no, I'll ask. I'll tell you what. I owe it to you. You showed me the place. I owe it to you. I will ask. But this is like I've gone to now like 3 of their like 6 or 7 locations, and it's a chain now. Like there's several locations. The guy probably doesn't even work anymore. He's probably just like
sitting home
for himself at home, chilling, right? Like
he's sitting home jerking off. He's jerking off at home. He said he's setting a record. So
nah, but I'm telling you, like it's good, man.
No, I mean, listen, I don't doubt it. If I ever make it out there, I'd like to give it a shot because my experiences have been lackluster when I've gone out there to have pizza, and I'm just like, eh. And the reason why I'm asked, kind of like in the, I'm just so engulfed in this whole, pizza debate is because, it's surprisingly shocking the fact that you're hyping this pie up to be compatible to an East Coast pie, right? Like, again, I came to Connecticut, and now, if as many of you know, Connecticut is now considered pizza capital of America. And, New Yorkers are still kind of trying to figure this out. Like, where the fuck did you come out of the woodwork being pizza capital of America? There have been some influencers out there who I'm not going to say their name to give them the satisfaction, who have been like aiming at, New Haven, Connecticut as pizza capital. But the distinction between the two, just to make it clear what makes New York slices versus Connecticut slices differently, we could read about it quickly. So, quote, the Food Bureau, if you will. So New York style.
Who the fuck is the Food Bureau?
I don't know. I'm making that up right now. Google. That's the Food Bureau. That's my Food Bureau. So New York style pizza gets its distinguishing crust from the high gluten bread flour, which is made with minerals, which presents in the New York City's tap water supplies. That's how New York got its more of a fluffier, hardened crust. Whereas Connecticut pizza, quote, the Neapolitan influenced but very different New Haven pies uses a coarser ground flour that is more similar to the kind used for bread and is cooked for longer at lower temperatures. Though coal fire ovens can get incredibly hot, New Haven style pizzas are kept at a distance from this heat source. So we're banking off the type of ovens they're using, but also like if they're going more low and slow with certain, coursed flour. That's what makes the difference. And yeah, I have tasted it. I mean, I can taste the difference and I can see what the hype is about, but again, the thing I can never also, yeah.
So, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I think that for our viewers, especially for those of you that are lucky enough to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and anywhere that you can watch us, there is going to be a time in the very near future where Anthony and I are going to get together and we're going to eat a lot of fucking pizza. Okay. And we're gonna put this to the test.
We're gonna make you guys disgusted to look at us.
California, this is gonna be the caveat. So we're gonna have to figure this out. Like, let's talk it out with our audience here. So I haven't booked a flight yet, but I'm gonna book a flight and presumably not see you for several days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So therein lies a conundrum. It won't be fresh. So the first question is, do we even want to try that at this point? Or, this is what I would think, do we want to do a hometown tour? And we'll hit up all the pizzerias from Washingtonville. And we'll go through and we'll finally settle the debate. What's the best pizza in Washingtonville, New York?
I guess, but like, listen, it's pretty much a coin toss. You got two of them right now. Brother Bruno's or F&J. That was it.
Hey, and
that was
I
it.
I know already that we are gonna go toe to toe.
In a town full of only 800 people. Trust me, it's a very.
There's more than 800 people in the high school. There's 1,600 kids in the high school.
What I think
it's way different now, man. The food is good. I follow both of them, Brother Bruno's and F&J. Like, Brother Bruno's is putting out some good stuff now.
Well,
I'm interested to go back to it.
I don't know. Like, their pizzas, like, it's new ownership from what I read. I know some people who still live there, and they kind of caught up with them. And they told me the situation when those two.
I go every time I'm home.
But you know something, man? Like, listen, you got to extend out your vacation, your trip for an extra week, because what we should then do is get in a fucking car and just drive for 8 hours a day. I'll pay for the gas. I'll pay for everything. We just like bar hopping. We're going to food hopping, and we're going to make our viewers disgusted with how much food we're shoving in our mouths.
And just trying to last the whole day. Families and children. We take it home. Then we'll edit the content and see if there's anything in there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to do that. I mean, we'll make you disgusted. We'll literally recreate a new man versus food. Like, instead of doing one big meal, can John and Anthony make it to 30 restaurants and eat 30 meals in one day? Like,
so we have a call to action then.
Thanks, everybody. Please download part 2 for the rest of episode 5.